everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another Sims 4 speed build. So this week I am doing a build that actually uses terrain tools, which I don't think I've really ever done a build that's used terrain tools, but anyways, this is called Garden Party, and I based this build off of an episode of The Office, which I know is kind of silly because it's like a show that's been off the air for a long time now. But I've been rewatching it lately, and in one of the episodes, Dwight hosts a garden party for the entire office at his farmhouse. So this isn't like exactly like Shrewd Farms or exactly like the layout of the garden party in that episode, but it is kind of like inspired by it. So, but yeah, so I've been rewatching The Office lately. Actually, so I'm recording this on Sunday, and Saturday night, last night, we finished our complete rewatch of all 9 seasons at like 11 o'clock at night. But yeah, we've been watching it while we've been feeding our daughter. We started rewatching The Office. So I watched The Office completely when it aired. Like, I watched it from the pilot all the way till the end. My husband watched a lot of it, but I don't think he finished the whole series. But since then, he's rewatched it at least once. I've rewatched it many more times than that. But so we started because we needed something to watch while we were feeding our kid. Because one of the things that I did not anticipate is just how time-consuming it is to feed a baby. Like, so much of our life is spent like sitting on the couch feeding her, which is actually kind of funny because right now when I'm recording this, she's like due for a feeding, but she's still asleep. So I'm trying to like record this really quickly before she wakes up because, you know, trying to get stuff done when you have to stop every 3 hours to feed your kid, it's a little bit frustrating sometimes to try to make it all work. But yeah, so we decided to start rewatching The Office. I think now our next show that we might be moving on to is One Day at a Time, which I've already watched and my husband hasn't seen any of it, but I'm very excited for it because I like introducing new people to shows. It's one of those things too where I feel like people get really excited about like specific things and specific shows. Like, if I had $1 for every time that somebody in my life told me I needed to watch Community, like, it got to the point where I was being told to watch Community so much that it made me not want to watch it at all. Like, if you try to, like, force me into watching something like that, I'm just not going to be into it. Like, it doesn't matter if I would actually enjoy it or not. It makes me suspicious when people tell me, like, oh, you should watch this, you'll love it. Like, but then you're also, like, building up expectations. I'm just like, no, I don't want to have expectations. Like, I'd rather discover something on my own, and then if I'm disappointed in it, then it doesn't really matter, because then if you get recommended a show by somebody, then, like, they're invested, and, you know, like, then they want to, like, know, like, oh, how far into it are you? Have you watched this part yet? Don't you just love this character? And if you don't agree, then it's, like, a source of tension, potentially, and no, like, guys, it's just TV. It's, you know, I'll find stuff I want to watch on my own, and that'll be that. It's fine. It's not that big of a deal. But yeah, so also, I really like doing this with the string lights from, I think that was from the toddler stuff pack, I want to say. It's one of those things where, like, I always have, like, the string lights or, like, the little lantern light things from City Living kind of as an afterthought. But this time, I knew ahead of time I wanted to do it. Also, I realized I'm, like, stuck on this frame for a very long time. So when I was doing this build, I had my daughter in her little napper thing. I don't know. It's just like, it's like a little baby seat, but because she can't really sit, it's called a napper. So she sort of, like, lounges. I don't know. Maybe it's a baby lounger. Whatever. I don't know. So she was sitting next to me in the office while I was doing this. So if there are pauses in the recording, it's because I had to stick her pacifier back in her mouth because she likes shooting it out of her mouth and then gets really mad that she spit it out of her mouth, even though she's the one who did this. And I try to explain this to her, like, Mary, this is what you've done to yourself. You brought this upon yourself. And, you know, she's like 10 weeks old, so she doesn't really understand that. I don't get it personally, but no, I'm totally kidding. Like, I understand. But so that's why there's like random pauses, and basically my life just sort of revolves around her. And I realized, I don't know, I was thinking about this the other day. I feel like my life has become very boring because, like, if you're not into like kid and baby things, like, I just don't even know. Like, I don't know how to talk about non-baby things anymore. And like, I feel myself becoming more boring, and I'm like, this is what happens. You know, like, I've always seen, like, you know, like moms and stuff, and it's just like their life revolves around their kids. And I'm like, I'm never gonna do that. No, newsflash, like, no, I'm a mom, no, I'm doing it. But yeah, so, I don't know. I do feel like The Sims is one of those things where I can still be me and not like mom me. But at the same time, it's also a life simulation game, which involves babies and raising kids and families. And so, yeah, it's really not that far away from reality, which is good. That's what it's supposed to be. But when your reality is like, I don't know, I think that's why I've been playing a lot more of The Sims. Not a lot more, but not as much as I used to. But I've been able to play more, but I still find myself playing much more Stardew Valley than The Sims. And some of it is like ease of access. Like Stardew Valley I have on my phone, and so if I'm downstairs and I don't really have a good setup up here most of the time to have my daughter with me, because in order to carry the napper upstairs, it doesn't stay up here, by the way, it stays downstairs. And so I have to carry her and the napper, and then once she's in it, then I can't leave the room, because if she's starting to get to the age where she can like flip out of it, so you can't really leave her alone in it. And so I then you're sort of like stuck. So it's one of those things where it's just more difficult to do now. So I'm finding myself playing a lot more on my phone, because my phone is always with me. I am never away from my phone, and I never used to be like super attached to my phone. Like I would have it around, but like there would be times where like I would set it down and walk away from it and just not come back to it for a few hours. No, I am literally lost without my phone right now, because I use it for everything. I use it for ordering groceries, for buying stuff on Amazon. I have all of my lists of things that I need to do on my phone. I have the app where I use to track like her wet and dirty diapers and how often we fed her and how much we fed her. All of that is on my phone. And so as a result, then I kind of just end up playing a lot of games on my phone, which is why I've been playing a lot of Stardew Valley, because I have Stardew Valley on my phone and on our Nintendo Switch, which, to be fair, if I'm downstairs, I probably could play it on the Switch, but I haven't played that save in a while, and I don't know that I want to, like, move back and forth, or, you know, switch back and forth, get it, between a save on the Switch and a save on my phone. Like, the phone I know will always be with me, so it's just easier. And then I also have a copy for our PlayStation 4, which I've never actually played, and I'm kind of ashamed to admit that. I got it only because it has a hard copy of the soundtrack with it, and like a special little guidebook thing that came with it. So that was a Christmas present a few years ago. And then of course I have Stardew Valley for PC, which is the original version that I have. So yeah, I have 4 copies of Stardew Valley. I'm not addicted. I could stop whenever I want, even though I don't want to. But with The Sims, like, the mobile versions of the game are just not good. I don't like them. In all honesty, I would rather pay, like, not pay like what we pay for PC, or if you play on console for console games, but I would rather pay for a version of The Sims Mobile as opposed to like the free-to-play freemium model thing that they have going on. I don't like those games. They're such a money pit, and I see right through it. I see through the traps, and so I can't ever enjoy them, because I know, like, they're set up in a way that encourages people to just, like, shell out little tiny bits of money piece by piece, and I see it happening, and I don't know. I'm too too savvy to be able to then relax and enjoy it. So, I don't know. I would have preferred something like what we have on PC more. And just because the game itself, it's so different. I just don't get it. I don't know. It's just not fun. I've played The Sims Mobile. I played The Sims Free Play a long time ago. I played The Sims Mobile up until, I think the last time I played it was maybe like in August or September. I don't know. And that's the other thing. So I started playing it on my iPad mini. So when I would babysit my nephew, a lot of times I would take my iPad with me, and when he was napping, I would play it on my iPad. But now, I'm like, my iPad basically stays docked in my office, and I use it as like a second screen. So like, if I'm playing The Sims and I want to watch like a YouTube video or a live stream on Twitch, I'll have it going on my iPad. I just don't ever carry it around anymore. Like I don't see the point. But I also can't move the save file over to my phone, and in all honesty at this point I kind of don't want to, but so I don't play it anymore. But yeah, so I've been playing a lot of Stardew Valley on my phone. I've also started playing BitLife, which is not, like, I was really addicted to it in the first couple of weeks after we came home from the hospital, and I don't know, I'm just not quite as into it now. Like, I'll play a lot right after a new update comes out, and then I'll get tired of it. I've been playing pretty much daily this game called Design Home, which I saw somebody, like, a long time ago, I don't even remember who now, talking about it on Twitter, and it's like, I don't know, it's really fun. It's a home furnishing game, and it is also like a free-to-play type of game, but it's also easy enough to like play where you don't need to like buy a lot of stuff, and I actually really recommend not, because of all of the mobile games out there, it seems like the model for this one is like way worse, like as far as being a money pit. But it's really fun. Like, they give you these, like, it's like you're a home designer, like an interior designer, I guess, and you have like clients and stuff, and they'll say, like, you know, like they'll have a picture of the outside of the house, and you have to like say, like, you know, this couple in, you know, Northern Virginia has decided to remodel the living room in their colonial style home, so design them a home with traditional furnishings that focuses on the beautiful nature scenes through the window, or I don't know, they just sort of make up random things. And so you have like this collection of furniture, and furniture can be used, I think, 5 times before you have to repurchase it. So it's like you're furnishing it, but it's like, then it's sort of like a little like rental, I guess, for the homeowners, where then the furniture isn't really theirs. It's just sort of like, this is what you could do. So anyway, so you as the designer get to use the furniture 5 times before you have to like repurchase it. But every day you get like money and what they call like little gems or diamonds or whatever, and then people will rate your rooms like in order to get more keys. Every time you play, you have to spend keys in order to gain access. It's a little complicated, but it sounds way more complicated than it actually is. It's not that complicated. And yeah, so you can save up money pretty quickly in the game. Like, I only ever play the daily challenge rooms for the most part, and so by doing that, I'm getting a lot of money back because people usually rate my rooms pretty highly, and then I can like save up that money in order to buy more furniture to use in future builds. I don't know. It's kind of fun, and it's interesting because it's like, I think it's actually helping my builds in The Sims, because it's they have like specific slots that you have to fill. So like if it's a living room, there'll usually be like a sofa and a couple of armchairs and an end table and a coffee table or something like that, and then there'll be like decorative pieces that are optional. So like the rug and the wall hangings and plants and that sort of thing. Oh, I forgot that I put a bee box in this. I completely forgot about that. Oh well. But anyways, so, but I think it's also sort of, I don't know, it's helping me with my Sims builds, I think, because I've always felt that The Sims is really restrictive, but because with this game, it's like, you have to go with the colors that the furniture is presented in because they use real life furniture. Like, it's real life brands and stuff, like, that you are using in the game. So, uh-oh, I hear someone crying. All right, talk faster, talk faster. Not that that actually would work. But yeah, so you use real furniture that's actually like real life brands, real life styles and stuff. So it kind of forces you to be creative in that way, I guess. Whereas at least in The Sims, we have like some color swatches that we can switch through. Whereas like in this game, if that piece doesn't work, then you need to find something else that does. So the flip side, of course, is that I think the catalog is a little bit bigger in this game than in The Sims, because it's like there's all these different like real life designers, like brands and stuff, and they do have a really nice filtering system where you can filter by style, and like The Sims has that, but I feel like since the base game launched, they haven't really updated it very well. Like I'll filter by like pack or by color, but by style, like it's there, but a lot of things don't really make a lot of sense, and I don't think they've done a great job of updating it since the game originally launched. So, you know, take that with a grain of salt. So anyways, back to the build, because I've spent very little time actually talking about this build. So the idea was to kind of loosely base it off of the Garden Party episode of The Office. So it's not an exact replica, but I did try to like pull in like the general style and theming of Dwight's house. And at various points throughout the series, they sort of reference the fact that he's like trying to run his farm as like almost like a bed and breakfast. And because I put a wedding arch outside, I also thought that this could be a fun place to host a wedding. So I put like a bridal suite upstairs. Well, room. It's not really a suite because there's no bathroom attached. So that's this room right now that's like pink and white. And then I also did another bedroom that could be like for a groomsman and a best man, where it's a little bit darker in color scheme, and there are 2 single beds there. So, you know, in theory, the bride and groom could both stay here overnight before the wedding, if that's what you choose to use it as. But basically, I wanted to try to find like a theme to make these extra bedrooms work, because like, I mean, at the farm, it's just Dwight and Mose. And I didn't really want to do a Mose themed bedroom because I don't even know what that would look like. Just a bunch of scarecrows. I mean, like, I don't know. So that's what I went with. So this is like sort of a bed and breakfast, sort of a wedding spot. It is listed as like a residential place, but in all honesty, you could probably change the lot type if you wanted to and use it as more of like a park venue. I'm not sure what the exact requirements are off the top of my head for a park, but you know, it's up to you. Or I wonder if you wanted to use this as I mean, like, I guess you could just host a wedding here if you lived here, obviously, but so yeah, I don't know what else to say, but yeah, this is the room for like groomsmen. Or obviously, if you just wanted to use this as like a family home, like this could be like, you know, for a couple of teenagers. I mean, like, it's not really like a kid unfriendly room, but it's not really a kid friendly room either, because there's no toys or anything like that. The other thing is that because I was trying to go with like the theming of Dwight's house, there's like no TV, there's no computer. The only stereo is like the old phonograph style. So, yeah, sorry, I just had to get a sip of water. I don't know, I'm almost wondering at this point if this is just my allergies flaring up after being pregnant, because I have heard that like after pregnancy, like with the various hormonal changes, that a lot of times like things like allergies or like your whole body just sort of changes like internally and externally. So I'm wondering if that's what this is, but anyways, overall though, I'm feeling much better than last week, so that's good. So this is the Garden Party house. There's no custom content. There is the usage of move objects, but again, it's just for decorations, so, you know, not a big deal. Everything is functional. But yeah, so you can download it on the Sims 4 gallery. You can search for it using the hashtag Mrs. Tomato 1018 or through my origin ID, which is also Mrs. Tomato 1018. And I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, you can do so down below. I put up a new video every Tuesday. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!